everybody. Welcome back to episode 39 of the Two Man Podcast, an early morning special me and Cole have here today. So, apologies if we're just a little bit tired. We're doing it for the people. We hope you appreciate it. Carl, how's everything going with you?
Everything's going great. We got an action-packed episode for you guys. A couple of really good topics that we're gonna spend some good time on. But I can't wait, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know the last couple weeks we've had opposite schedules, conflicting schedules that have kind of been tough to record. So, we're recording on Thursday at 8 a.m. to get a lovely episode for you people out on Friday. And we do have a couple guests lined up for the next few episodes, so make sure to check those out. But for today, it's just me and Carl.
Yeah, unfortunately, nobody else wanted to record with us at 7:30 in the morning. So you're stuck with us two for this week again. But Tyler, let's go through what we got going on today. How do you
Yeah,
sound? How does that sound?
sounds great to me. Let's hear all about it.
All right, so first off, guys, we are going to be talking Marvel talk. A lot of interesting things came out the past couple of weeks. We got Agatha all along, and we also got a new Thunderbolts trailer. So Tyler and I will be giving our 2 cents about those two things. And then finally, the Mets are in a race to the playoffs right now, and unfortunately, a Hurricane Helena, I think, is coming up the coast. I don't know if I said that right, but she postponed both games until Monday. So we're gonna have to wait to see how that playoff race turns out till Monday. But just
Hmm.
me and Tyler will give our 2 cents upon that.
Hmm.
And then finally, we got some football talk. We're gonna talk about the injury bug, our first 3 weeks. Who we think's are the best teams in the league despite the standings record. And then we're gonna give you some bold predictions for the end of the season. So, can't wait to dig into this, Tyler. How about you start us off with your Marvel talk, man?
Yeah, sure. You did mention it. I will start off with Agatha all along. I'll preface, as of recording, I've only watched the first episode. I know they dropped 2 episodes on the first day. I think they dropped one more last night. So there should be 3 episodes out right now. Honestly, I wasn't gonna watch it, or at least wait till every episode dropped. But honestly, it was getting so many good reviews on TikTok. I had, and through, kind of you guys. So
Yeah.
I had no choice but to kind of watch an episode, see for myself. And I watched the first episode and I was kind of intrigued, not to steal your thunder, but you did mention it had WandaVision vibes.
Yeah, no, no, of
And it
course, of
kind of
course.
was like, confusing. So you're kind of, not wanting to watch it at first, but then you kind of see where they're going with it. And then the end of the episode ends on a cliffhanger that makes you want to come back. So,
Yeah, no, like you said, I don't want to give too much away from you, but just from the first two episodes, I, I I don't know how to describe it. I was gonna give it the acolyte treatment where I was going
mhm.
to wait for it all to be on. I wasn't gonna watch it week by week. Um, so with Acolyte, I watched the first two episodes. I really liked it. And then when the third episode came out, so many people kind of, bashed it like really
Yeah.
hard that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait for it all to come out so I can digest it. Like sometimes I feel like, especially people online that like, get paid to, do all these reviews and stuff,
Hmm.
they are really harsh and they kind of look for the clickbait. So I was like, okay, like I'm not going to follow these guys week by week because
Hmm.
maybe it might be if you watch the whole thing, it might end up being a good told
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wait. But when, like you said, there were so many really great reviews coming out upon this. After people saw it. So I was like, you know what? I'll give it a watch. And I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. Um, WandaVision vibes. I liked how they kind of spoiler alert, I kind of liked how they didn't show like Wanda's face, but kind of just alluded that she was like the dead body.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool and
yeah.
different.
Hmm.
And kind of like the subtle winks, like her literally winking at the camera, being like, "Oh, you never know, she still might be alive."
Yeah,
Um,
and well, just to kind of touch on that point too a little bit, like, Agatha kind of being the detective role, being stuck in the dark hold or whatnot, and her not knowing where the body came from, her kind of just alluding to the fact that it wasn't dragged there, it wasn't dropped there, it came from basically the sky. So,
yeah,
last time we saw Wanda, she was in Multiverse of Madness. I believe that was the last time.
Yep.
So, when she got crushed by the building. So they kind of allude to the fact that that body came out of nowhere. So,
Yeah, and the craziest thing too is they said that underneath her fingernails was dirt from Eastern Asia, which I'm
yeah,
like, how do they figure that out? Like forensics
yeah,
fucking freaks me out.
it
How do
does.
they know
Yeah.
that?
I never get that too. And that's something that, when I heard, I wasn't even like, oh, that's crazy. They could figure that out. Like, I believe they could figure that out because, like
Yeah.
you said, forensics just know some weird stuff, seeing enough Criminal Minds shows and stuff like that. Like, they just
Yeah,
know
but
this
like
stuff.
dirt's just dirt. Like how do you
That's
like
what you think. Yeah.
how do you just be like, yep, Eastern Europe dirt. Yep, no problem.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is it here in New Jersey or,
Yeah.
whatever. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw a couple of theories online that I kind of like is that like the Wanda's body didn't it wasn't actually like Wanda's body. It kind of embodies the Darkhold,
Okay.
if that makes sense. It's like a reference to the Darkhold because remember in the first episode all the books she goes like into the actual library and that
Hmm.
whole like corner is burnt
Yeah.
of books. So and then like what she finds on her body is a library receipt.
Hmm.
So I like that kind of concept because
Hmm.
it's like alluding to us that Wanda may be dead, but they might just be talking about how the Darkhold's just destroyed. So
Yeah.
I find that pretty cool.
That's
Um
pretty cool.
but yeah, I thought it was really good, man. And I know you haven't seen the second episode yet, but I know you talked to me about the bopping song,
Oh my God.
the Witch's Road song.
Song of the fall, man.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm literally gonna be it's spooky season's right around the corner. Like
Yeah.
we're right in the middle of it, and like it's a good spooky song. It's not too spooky, but
Yeah.
it gives those vibes, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say because that's also another thing that intrigued me. I was like, all my TikTok was filled with that scene of just them singing the song and stuff, and I was like, wow, this song's actually really catchy.
Yeah, it's a
Like it's not like a
bop.
stupid song, and like you said, it's fall season and spooky season specifically, and this comes out at a good time because it
Yeah.
has Agatha and that whole kind of undertone of witches and spooky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like Marvel knows what they're doing. They definitely did that on purpose.
Hmm.
But kind of just like as you were saying that, I was laughing because me, my dad, and my brother are watching Agatha all along,
Hmm.
and my mom comes downstairs and she starts like she literally comes down when like the singing part happens. My mom literally goes, "What the fuck are you guys watching?" And then like at first, because it was like weird, like when they first start singing, it's like it sounds like very like out of pitch, but as they continue to go on like
Hmm.
it's a bop. Like it's a
Yeah, yeah,
straight
yeah.
bop. And my mom was like, "Wait, this kind of hits. This
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of hits."
yeah.
I was crying though, dude. It was so fucking
Probably
funny.
thought it was like a seance at first. Like, what are you guys up to? What are you even
Yeah.
watching here? But once it catches on, yeah, I'm excited to watch the second episode and then even the third episode to kind of see where they go with it.
Yeah, I'm really hyped that they have Aubrey Plaza. Not
Yeah.
only is she a great actress, she's also very pretty. So, I'm very excited to see more of her. So,
Yeah, good point, good point. But yeah, no, I thought Agatha was good, and then honestly, Marvel went back to back, and they released the Thunderbolts, and I thought that trailer was really good as well.
me too. Han, but before we talk about this, I need you to say how you said it before we got on. What did you say?
Oh, when we were before when we look at the agenda, I said, "Is Marvel back?
Is Marvel
Marvel
back?
might be back
Yeah, we
because
might be cooking.
they're kind of releasing some good projects and some good trailers. Granted, trailers are 3 minutes of a potential 2.5 hour movie, but
Yeah.
they look like they have some purpose to them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, dude. Honestly, when they released this cast, the two things that I was most excited about was
Hmm.
getting to see more of Florence Pugh's character, Yelena Belova, and
Yes.
getting to see more of Bucky because
Yeah.
I think Bucky throughout the first, whole saga of the MCU was probably the one of the most underutilized characters, along
Yeah.
with Sam Wilson, who's also getting their own movie, but
Hmm.
they're saying that, Bucky and Florence Pugh and the Thunderbolts are going to be, the leads of this movie.
Fire.
And Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova was probably the best part of Black Widow, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That movie came out during, Netflix when people should have, or sorry, that movie came out during COVID and it was released straight to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
where, you couldn't like experience that in the theater, but
Hmm.
watching that at home, like I just wanted to see more of her every time she came on the screen.
Yeah.
And then with Bucky too, I mean, Sebastian Stan is like killing it right now. He's like in a different movie every other month,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
like, or he's in like another Hulu project or something.
Yeah.
So like he's on fire right now, and just to see more of him of like in the role that I mean, at least myself, I don't know about you, has kind of got to know him. Like I didn't know him
Hmm.
before he was Bucky with the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So
I haven't honestly, I know he's in so many projects. I see commercials for it all the time, but I don't think I've seen him in anything else but as the Winter Soldier
yeah,
because I just watch, Marvel movies the most. But yeah, his character looks great based on the trailer. And I mean, yeah, like you said, Florence Pugh wasn't only good in Black Widow, not fun, not only funny, but she was good in Hawkeye as well.
yeah,
When she
she
came
was
in,
so good in Hawkeye.
she was like
Oh
one of the
yeah,
best parts of that. Like, just her backstory of why she's trying to go after Hawkeye and just kind of, where she's at in her life, moving past losing her sister and stuff like that. It's got to be tough, but it was also really cool seeing all the other like I'll say like overshadowed villains in a
yeah,
sense, kind of in the trailer because a lot of them had their time in movies, but I feel like some of those guys definitely got made fun of because maybe they weren't comic accurate or
yeah,
but they're bringing them all back. Even the guy from Falcon and Winter Soldier,
yeah.
the
John Walker.
yeah, John Walker. I mean that guy turned into an asshole,
Yeah.
but they're
I
bringing
I
it
mean,
back.
yeah, I really like that too because like you said, like he turned into an asshole. But
Hmm.
again, his power set is cool. He's basically another Captain America.
Hmm.
He took the super soldier serum. He was a, ex-military guy. So I'm excited to see him because they said that apparently like he's also supposed to be one of the leads in the movie. Like
Hmm.
him and Yelena's redemption arc are like kind of
Hmm.
lead through this whole project, which I'm
Yeah.
excited to see.
Hmm.
Because he was probably the most hated
Oh
um
yeah.
person in that show. And he wasn't even the main villain of Falcon and Winter
No.
Soldier, and he was
Yeah.
probably more hated than the main villain, the Flag Smashers in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, just that scene in Falcon and Winter Soldier when he literally decapitates somebody with the
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah,
Like I
that
just remember sitting there, jaw dropped
yeah.
on the floor, being like, I can't believe Captain America just did that, even though, he's not actually Captain
Yeah,
America.
but it just shows like, nothing against him as a person, but like as an actor and in the show, like how much everyone hated him. And it just was like everyone on social media was in a frenzy, like I hate this guy, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
And then he like you said, he decapitates a guy and you see the blood spewing all over the shield, all over him in public, and you're like, all right, at least they know now this guy's an asshole
Yeah,
and
I
they
mean
can stop.
to his credit though, that's like how like a good actor is. I mean, like the same thing's going on with the guy who plays Christian Cole in House of Dragons.
Oh,
Like
fuck that guy.
nobody fucking likes that
I
guy.
hate that
But
guy,
like you're
yeah.
not supposed to like that guy. So
Hmm.
that's why it ends up being so great, you
Yeah,
know?
not that it's good and not that it's warranted, but I feel like when you get like threats on social media of like how much you're hated, and like if you were to see that guy in the street and you're like, instead of being like, wow, it's so cool, and you're like, fuck this guy,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
you're like literally fuck
you
you.
shouldn't do that because obviously they're playing a character, they're acting. I'm sure they're
Yeah,
great people, but it's like you're doing something right as an actor. If they hate you so
they
much
hate
that when
you
they
that
see
much.
you, they like cringe.
No,
So
100%, a hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah. So it's good, and even I'm a big fan of David Harbour. He's a good actor too. So
Yes.
it's cool seeing him back. It's funny in the trailer, him acting
I
like he has his life together a little bit. He brushes his teeth with dish
with
soap and
soap.
spits it out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
disgusting.
he's like trying to like act like he has it together, but absolutely does not.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we talked about it in the past, but I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier. They have their trailer.
Yep.
Thunderbolts now has this one. The
Yeah.
Agatha's
Captain
shows.
America 4, you mean? Captain
Yes,
America
Captain
4.
America 4, you're right.
Yep.
Thunderbolts, and now Agatha's show is coming out. It's off to a
Yeah.
good start. So maybe Marvel's kind of turning the corner. I think they realize quality over quantity. Just
No,
kind of
I
stop
agree.
releasing 6 projects a year
Yeah.
and maybe start
I
connecting things.
I agree. And I think that's like as much as people hated it, I think it's just they kind of needed to go through it because
Hmm.
when they released, all these like streaming projects, nobody had really like streaming was very, very new. I think a lot
Yeah.
of different streaming services have kind of failed in kind of doing it and are kind of like I guess doing it better than others. And Marvel, I guess, tried their way, didn't really
Hmm.
work. They tried making movies, but breaking them up into
Hmm.
smaller TV shows, which, didn't really work. Like
No.
I mean, it happened. Disney had this problem with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Like,
Hmm.
people, I thought it was really good, but thought there was like too much content in it to like make it like there was like too much stuff going on in it.
Yeah.
And then somebody on like Instagram or somebody on TikTok made a like a 2.5 hour version of like the made a movie out of like the content that came
Hmm.
out.
Yeah.
And like everybody raved about how great that Obi-Wan like short film was, or it was a full film. It was like a 2 hour movie, but
Yeah.
they just cut out like all that excess fluff, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I think a lot of the Marvel projects, if people took the time to do that, would end up making them a lot better. I feel like a show that wasn't received well, like Hawkeye, like if they cut that a lot of
Hmm.
stuff out of that,
Yeah.
that would have been better. But yeah, I think they're really on the right page. Like Daredevil Born Again is coming out next year too.
That's true. Yeah.
And like they're gonna actually use that as a TV show. Like they're gonna take their time, like 18 episodes,
Yeah.
to like flush that out.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think they're going down the right path. I'm
They,
really excited. And then after that, after the ones you just described, we got Fantastic Four at the end of the year next year too.
yeah. It's great. And I know we mentioned this a little bit when we talked about, RDJ getting announced as Doctor Doom for a couple movies at least.
Yeah,
They just have to start connecting things. They just have to start
I
connecting. I know
agree.
there's a lot of standalone movies, but I'm pretty sure I read this. There's been 10 projects since Sam Wilson was announced as Captain America,
And
or
haven't seen
kind
him.
of
Yeah,
10 projects, and we haven't seen him once. It hasn't been mentioned once. I mean, the biggest one obviously was after the Eternals, was when there's just a
yeah,
giant in the sky, frozen, and no one mentions it at all. And it's like, how? How do you not even mention it
yeah,
until like that was like 5 or 6 projects later where they showed it on like TV. It was like a news story. It's like
yeah.
you just have to start connecting these things because us fans realize, these people can be in the same place at the same time. Why can't the directors of these shows realize it? So,
No, 100%. Like, also, too, I get it. You don't want to pay these big time actors money. Like, dude, I need 30 seconds. You just have him on a phone call. That's it.
yeah,
That's all I need.
literally,
Just like
yeah,
let me know that this fucking guy is alive. Like, that's all I need to know.
literally. Like, I
But
know I might have been tough, like, not to keep harping on it, but just like, even that, I loved Hawkeye, great show. But even at the end, they're in New York City. It's like how Spider-Man's not going to pull up with
Spider-Man,
Kingpin.
Daredevil isn't gonna
Yeah,
pull up that kid. That's literally Kingpin is his main villain.
yeah.
Like that's who Daredevil is known to fight, and you're not gonna tell me that that's not gonna happen. I remember all the speculations when
Hmm.
Hawkeye was coming out and No Way Home that like Spider-Man was gonna show up, like
Yeah,
because he literally swings over
yeah,
where they have the fight
yeah.
in No Way Home. Like he
I
at
know.
the end he swings over Rockville Center.
Yeah,
And you're telling me he couldn't just swing down, be like, "Hey guys, web up a couple of people and then dip?"
yeah. Exactly. Because it's like, I feel like some of these guys just don't all talk on the projects they're working on. So they don't all
Yeah.
collaborate and say, like, hey, we'll have them swing over it, then you pick up from there. I feel like all these people don't watch each other's projects or let each other know what's going on. So it's just like they're kind of on their own. So
Yeah.
what
So,
a what a
what
mess.
a
But
what a crazy mess. But I think we're on the up.
yeah.
Thunderbolts looks amazing. And like you said, like the other people in it too. Like I'm really excited to see the girl Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought her
Hmm.
power sets are really cool.
Yeah.
I don't really care much for Taskmaster, but
Yeah.
I think overall it's gonna be really cool because I
Hmm.
don't know if you noticed this, but they introduced a guy named Bob.
Yeah, I saw that guy.
Yeah, so the guy named Bob in the comics, they're basically hinting that he's gonna play the Sentry.
Okay.
And the Sentry is so powerful. He's like a Superman level threat, like hero
Oh,
in
nice.
the Marvel universe. And like he goes toe to toe with the Hulk. So like
Oh,
he's a powerful guy. So I'm excited to see how they have like these super soldiers go up like against a Superman level threat.
Yeah, that
So
should be pretty cool. And I know, sorry, this is now turned into a full Marvel episode, but from that
yeah.
trailer too, I saw people mention that that did look like Avengers Tower that she has.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about it because I would have liked to see somebody more high profile to have
Yeah.
Avengers Tower than
Hmm.
Val.
Yeah.
But I kind of fuck with it, you know. I think it's kind of cool to see it again. It kind of brings me back to Avengers, I
Yeah.
feel like that's like the golden ages for me at least, is like that was the first spot where Avengers Towers were Ultron.
Exactly.
Um,
And yeah, and I'm not gonna harp on it too much because obviously it might not be. And also, even if it is in the movie, who knows how the movie ends? The movie could end with her getting evicted if it is.
yes.
So I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I saw a lot of people have not be upset because they wanted a bigger reveal. Fantastic
I
Four
saw
owns
people
it.
being
Doom
upset
owns
too.
it.
Yep.
But listen, at the end, like it's a very historic tower in the movie world. But we don't know if it is or if it's gonna stay like that forever. So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get too upset with
Also,
it.
at the end of the day, like New York people and skyscrapers, those shits literally get turned over all the time.
Yeah, literally.
So, yeah, 100%. Like for this movie, they could have just moved in, and by the end of the movie, they'll be moving out.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows? Who knows? Gotta always move some things around, and that kind of brings us into our next topic about moving things around. And
Oh, okay.
as of recording, the Mets and Braves were supposed to have a big three-game
Good
series
job.
down in Atlanta, but the hurricane that Carl mentioned at the top of the episode is apparently, well, not apparently, it postponed the
Yeah,
second and third game of the series till next week.
yeah.
And the Mets and the Braves are still vying for those final playoff spots, and kind of put that into question for now. While both teams traveled to their final series before having to play a doubleheader on Monday, potentially, if
Potentially.
if those series are clinched. And it just seemed like a lot of chaos because it seemed like a lot of reports were coming out that the Braves knew about this hurricane coming, didn't want to move the times, didn't want to move the dates, didn't want to move locations and stuff like that because they didn't want to cause too much chaos for the fans and stuff like that. And I mean, if that's true, that's kind of tough. I feel like the MLB should have stepped in there and moved it because you know about a hurricane for about a week. You don't know how strong it's going to be, but as it gets closer, you can kind of see too. So I would have definitely liked to see that switched up.
Yeah, I think maybe they should have just switched the series back to New York. I know you try to give everybody like proper home games, but like
Mm,
even if you need like now it's the end of the season, playoffs are going to start, and
mm,
these are two games that are very playoff like implicated.
mm,
If you don't play these games, you may not know who's going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, even if they made like the Atlanta like homed at City Field or something, you know what I mean? Like
yeah. Or
if
I would have even just done a neutral site because that
a
wouldn't have
neutral
even been
site, yeah,
fair. Yeah,
that would have been a really good idea too, Yankee Stadium, or you go on to Pittsburgh or something, somewhere in the
yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Pick somewhere. I think that's a really good idea too. I mean, um, but yeah, I mean, I'm scared as all hell as a Met fan
Hmm.
because we did not look very good in game one. But we were putting Lindor back in the lineup. I know he's banged up, but I'll take a hurt Lindor
Hmm.
any day of the week ever since we just said he's our MVP.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it did. I hope everyone is safe from the hurricane, obviously down
Yes,
there,
thoughts
down
and
south.
prayers. Yeah,
But, I think it was a small saving grace for the Mets because they just can't win down there. I mean,
yeah,
PTSD from 2 years ago when they were going for the division against Atlanta with DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett, all those guys on the mound, and they got swept, and we lost the division. And it's
yeah,
kind of deja vu again. Have a lead on the Braves, having to just take one game. And I know game one isn't the whole series, but I mean they couldn't score, and they were giving up runs. So it got really scary. But the only thing that I saw, which I'll read real quick, is this is apparently the max chaos scenario if everything goes like not well. So
great,
apparently
great.
the Mets will play Sunday in Milwaukee to finish that three-game series. Then a doubleheader on Monday in Atlanta. Then a wild card game Tuesday in San Diego. So that would be four games in like 56 hours in three separate time zones to start your postseason. That is not good. That is
Oh,
such a tough
bro,
way to start.
why are they doing this to us?
Like it can't be easy for the Mets, can it? Or the Braves, whoever that turns out to be. But honestly, the one thing people are sleeping on too is obviously everyone's talking Mets Braves. I mean, the Diamondbacks too haven't clinched their spots, so that spot's up for grabs too. So if they keep losing too,
I mean, the Mets sweeping Milwaukee,
yeah,
they make it really hard for anybody else, and it ends up being the Mets and the Braves in it. I would
it
hate
could.
that.
And the
I would
Diamondbacks
hate
fall
that.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know too because you know they said also like Monday's game, if like it's one or two teams, it's going to be up to the commissioner to see if that game should be played or not on Monday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wonder what happens if, say, the Mets and Braves both have the same record. I guess it goes to the tiebreaker instead of playing Monday. Because also, it's tough for the other team they have to play because they don't know who's come. I don't know. It seems like a mess that sounds like the Braves could have avoided.
I think so too, but I think what ended up happening was they thought it was going to miss them,
Hmm.
and then the hurricane doubled in size because it was only really supposed to hit like Florida.
Oh,
But
really?
now it's also going to hit Atlanta, which is crazy. Listen, I'm not a freaking meteorologist. We'll
Yeah.
have to talk to Talk on that. He took a meteorology class.
Yes, we'll have to.
But yeah, no, it's crazy. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. Again, I really am. I think the Mets are going to, if they can sneak in, I think this team is built to make a small little run. I'm not
Hmm.
saying maybe going to the World Series. Listen, my opinion can change, but the fact that we're at this point right now, when we were cursing the Mets in like
Hmm.
late April, early May, is
Yeah,
just absolutely a credit to them because
I know.
it is just it's really unbelievable.
I know if you told
So
me before the season that this team right now would be sitting at 87 wins with a chance to, finish with 90 plus wins, I
yeah,
would have said you're crazy,
literally
especially
insane.
with all the nonsense they had going on at the beginning of the season. I mean, that one game where they had like 10 fans in the crowd, they were getting no hit through seven.
Yeah,
Jorge Lopez gets ejected that one game and he throws
that
his
was a
glove into the
turning point of the
stands.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So this season has been 15 different seasons in one.
Yeah,
Um,
I 100% stand by
but
that.
I kind of agree with you too. I feel like they're almost like that Diamondbacks team, whether they make it to the World Series or not, the Mets. If they can sneak in, I mean, they have a pitching staff that in short series can shut down another team. And they have a lot of guys who show timely hitting. I mean, you got
Yeah,
MVP candidate Lindor, so if he's up, he's going to get the job done. But then they have so many side characters. I mean, Tyrone Taylor, Harrison Bader, they seem to get big hits too.
they're
And even the
clutch. We
kids.
have clutch guys, man.
Yeah. So if you can just keep the score to a one-run game, I mean, who knows what happens in the extra innings? Every team
Yeah.
complains about their bullpen being not good. So,
Nimmo hasn't been hitting for average, but he's been coming up with clutch home runs. I feel like
hmm
all of his, I think he's got like 21 or like 20
hmm
home runs or something like that. Like all 24 home runs, I think came in a clutch scenario. Like every single one.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the good thing too is the Mets have to go play the Brewers, who already clinched, so they don't really have anything to play for because the Phillies have the top spot now. They clinched that. So the Brewers don't have too much to play for, and the Braves have to go to Kansas City to play the Royals, who are fighting for the postseason as well.
Yeah.
And I did see something. I mean, this was a week ago, so things could have changed. But they said apparently, if the Brewers were already clinched, that they might just play their or start their starting pitchers for like 5 innings.
That'd be
So
hype.
if they only pitch him for five, we
I
worry
mean,
about the bullpen.
they've already
So
clinched.
yeah,
So,
it's they have nothing to play for really. The only thing
yeah,
was to play for the top seed, but the Phillies locked that up.
they locked
So
that up.
they
Yeah.
the NLDS and NLCS runs through Philadelphia. So not really much to play for. So that is another silver lining potentially because I'd rather try and get it done in Milwaukee than playing Atlanta down there. But
This
since,
just came into my head. If we can make it to Philly, like if we make the playoffs and we can make it to Philly, I like our chances, dude. As good as that Philly team is,
mhm,
we just took 2 out of 3 from them.
three out
You
of
know,
four, even
three
better.
out of four. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that team can't play on the road either. A lot of teams can't play on the
Yeah.
road. So you got to come to City Field in a October baseball environment to New York.
Yeah, you got to hear the Italian New Yorkers. You got to hear all of us freaking screaming at you,
Yeah, literally.
cursing at you.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they can sneak in so I have a team to root for
Me
come
too, man. Me
come
too.
from come baseball. We're right around the corner. We'll give our predictions probably next episode once we have the full picture laid
Playoff
out.
slate. Yeah. Can't wait,
But
man. It's gonna
I
be
can't wait.
electric.
Nothing better than October baseball.
Yeah, and we all have our guest on for that episode too.
True. So we can talk about that.
It'll be hype. But speaking of sports and predictions, let's go on to football.
Hmm.
We just finished week 3. By the time everybody, hears this episode, we'll be in week 4.
Yes.
So we got a lot of exciting things going on. And we kind of got like a weird first 3 weeks. Like there's
Hmm.
teams that are very bad that we thought were not going to be really bad, and there's teams that are really good that nobody thought had hell in a chance to win. So also too, the injury bug has been killing everybody's fantasy teams and a lot of
Stupid.
teams like
Stupid.
themselves, which is stupid. I feel like I open my phone and somebody else goes on the IR. Like I
Yeah.
had Pacheco, he broke his fibia.
Yeah.
Um, John drafted Christian McCaffrey first overall, and he might not play this season, it seems
Trash.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just a wild thing, the NFL. I feel like it's really tough.
Hmm.
But what's your opinion on it, Tyler?
Yeah. I mean, fantasy wise, I joked yesterday with our commissioner Dan, good friend, and said I want my money back because I mean some of the injuries. I mean, on one team, I just lost Eckler, Ingram, and Puka,
Oof,
and
oof.
another team, I lost CMC. On another team, Devonta Smith got knocked unconscious. I doubt he plays this week. And Kamara popped up on the injury report. So, I mean, each team I have, it's like 2 to 3 main guys are at least going to miss a week with
Yeah.
not a lot of depth. But yeah, this football season has been weird to start, like you said. I mean, there's a lot of teams who don't look good. And honestly, a few of them who, if they don't win this week, their season could be pretty much over.
Yeah, you go
Um,
0-4. It's really tough to come back from that.
Exactly.
Really tough.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the Bengals specifically there, but even
Yeah.
like Ravens beat the Cowboys because if they went to 0 and 3, it would have been tough. But they play the Bills this week, who are 3 and 0. So you go to
The
1 and
Ravens play the
3.
Bills.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So you go to 1 and 3 as a Raven. It's not great too, especially because that division. I mean, the Steelers are playing well. I mean,
And
teams are
it's
playing well
crazy
in the division.
is because I like that offense so much.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
know.
really like that backfield with, you have Derrick Henry and then you got Lamar who could also run it. He
Hmm.
looks light. He lost some weight. He's running a little bit faster.
Hmm.
And then like Zay Flowers too. I like that. I like that offense. I guess they just don't have enough on the defensive end, or they're just running into better teams.
Yeah, they have just been kind of, well, yeah, they lost to the Raiders out of nowhere, which was a weird
Yeah,
one. I mean, losing to the Chiefs opening night, I mean, it's the Chiefs.
I understand that. The Chiefs just Chief,
Yeah, they
man.
do. Sunday night football, they got Bills and Ravens. So, another big test for the Ravens.
Might want to stay away from that game.
Yeah, I might want to too. Maybe we take a week off.
Maybe we take a week off.
Yeah, because that's pretty scary. But I mean, yeah, football kicks off tonight. Cowboys, Giants. How you feel
Yes. I feel pretty good. I really hope I'm hoping for a loss, honestly. I was
at
really
this
hoping
point?
they lost last week too.
Hmm.
But you know, uh honestly, as long as I see a couple of Mikael Neighbors touchdowns, I'm okay with that.
I was
He's a
just
beast.
I was about to say Neighbors has looked so good, maybe too good that Daniel Jones might keep his job because of that guy.
Yet that's what I don't want. Like that's actually like my fear is that he'll keep his job because Neighbors just gets open and he just catches random balls from him.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
that's the
Giants
crazy part.
Giants haven't looked good. Jets looked good the other day against the Patriots. I waited
Jets
10 long
Jets
years for
looked
that.
fantastic, man. I'm really happy how well they looked for you guys. It's good to see that my friends not be in misery.
Yeah, no, I waited I waited 10 long years for them to beat the Patriots. I waited pretty much my whole life to see a competent quarterback
Yeah,
kind of play. And I mean, the craziest part, not only was Rodgers just throwing dimes, but he was actually rolling out, running on an Achilles, getting
Yeah,
tackled. Uh,
sliding,
I know
sliding.
I cringed every time he would get tackled down low or something, but I kept joking around and pretending to cry tears of happiness because Taylor was watching with me, and I would just go. She's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, it's just so beautiful seeing. Not only was a good quarterback, but we finally beat the Patriots. We haven't beat
Yeah,
them at home since 2015, so
that's
it's been
crazy.
almost
Since
10
Rex
years.
Ryan.
Yeah, Rex Ryan, and we beat them in Bill Belichick's last game, but that was like our first time beating them in like 18 matchups. So
Yeah.
um, it was great to see. So that's just been another fun storyline. I'm not trying to be biased, but that team looks pretty good right now too. So it's
Nah,
definitely
man, I'm excited for them.
one of the teams that look good. But yeah, Bengals not looking good.
Bengals look trash. The 49ers, like we said, got hit by the injury bug. They just
Yeah,
don't look good. I mean, Brock Purdy's playing well, but it's like, where's Ayuk? Where is that
yeah,
guy? You gave
yeah.
him all this money. Like Debo was hurt. Like, where are
Mhm.
you at, man? Like, you're supposed to be getting all these catches. And instead, you're
Exactly.
trying to fight with people on the sideline. Like that.
Yeah,
That's literally what I see.
literally, Purdy is still top two or top five, ranked two now in passing yards in the whole
Yeah.
NFL. Without most of his weapons, he has no dump
He
offs to
looks good, dude.
CMC. Yeah, he's
I don't know
good.
how he was Mr. Irrelevant, man. Like, who passed up on this guy? But he looks good.
I know. I always hate the Brock Purdy hate when they're like, "Well, look at him. He has 10, all pro weapons around him." It's like, well, right now he doesn't. But the other day he
Yeah.
threw three touchdowns to Jawan
To
Jennings.
Jennings. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
who was
picked him
like,
up. They
yeah, he
picked
was
him
like a
up.
seventh round pick himself.
Yeah.
So it's like this guy is like a fourth option on the 49ers, and he's still making everyone look good.
Making plays, man.
Yeah, so I
Just
don't
making
know.
plays.
The season's been weird, but
I'm excited for more football, man. It's good to see some teams kind of do well that I was scared about, and like the Steelers, like with the Justin Fields
mhm.
and like Russ whole thing. Like Russ was supposed to start. I don't think he's getting that job back, to be honest with you.
I
They go
mean,
4-0. I don't see him getting that job back.
yeah,
Um,
I don't see why you would give the job back if he's leading you to wins. No
yeah,
need to switch things up.
I had a really good idea for the Dolphins if Tua ends up, missing significant time.
Mhm.
Trading for Russ.
It's not a bad idea,
You could probably get
honestly.
him for like a third overall or a fourth at this point because you don't need him. He's just gonna sit there and take up cap space. Take the hit with money,
Mhm.
and then to get Russ, and then now you have a quarterback who's been proven to win.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's not a bad idea. They've been throwing around so many different trade ideas to how to replace Tua.
yeah,
Because I mean, Tim Boyle's not your answer. Skylar Thompson's not your answer. They
no.
said Tyler Huntley might start this week. He's a little better than those guys,
The thing that
but
sucks though is that that team is ready to win. Like you got the offensive pieces,
mm,
you got a pretty solid D line,
hmm
and like you just need it. You got like isn't Jalen Ramsey on that team too? Like you got a good
he
defense.
is. Yeah, they have some
So
names on that
they
team.
got
Yeah,
some names on that team. Like that team is like ready to like compete.
yeah,
And if you're not putting them in the best position, yeah, I understand. Like you want like to hear back from Tua, but from what we all saw and the whole like world is seeing is like maybe this guy doesn't shouldn't go back on the field for his own personal health. So
yeah.
do something for your team if he's gonna be out the rest of the
hmm
year. Get a Russ, get a like competent quarterback. Go out and get
hmm
a Jimmy Garoppolo. Go
Yeah,
out and get a quarterback who's been proven to win.
yeah.
But
Because with those guys so fast, they can create so much separation. You just need a guy who could decently throw the ball and
yeah,
just drop it in the breadbasket
exactly. Drop it in.
for those guys. So you need just a little help there. So yeah, I don't know what that team's gonna do either. There's a lot of question marks. I know it's early, but a lot of even just fantasy wise. I mean, you look at some guys who are usually good. I mean, Mark Andrews has put up a bunch of goose eggs at the tight end position.
So is Kelsey. The tight It has
Yeah,
not been the year of the tight
it
end, I'll
has
tell you
not
that.
been the year of the tight ends. You should not have drafted them high because I mean,
Yeah,
Kelsey looks like a 35-year-old grandpa to
yeah,
start the year. But I mean, he kind of had a slow start last year. But all
yeah.
you need him for is the playoffs, where
That's
the
all
Chiefs
you need
will
him
be
for.
again. So it
Yeah,
doesn't really matter what he does in the regular season. He stays healthy. You just need him for 3 games come next year,
yeah,
January and February.
yeah.
Because I mean, it's just funny how everyone's blowing it out of proportion. But
Yeah, I was.
it's so many things with Kelsey because obviously everyone hates Taylor Swift, so they're gonna blame her. But
Yep.
so the travel definitely runs into that a little bit because he was traveling all over the world. But also, if you see him, he's in every single commercial. So he
Yeah.
was busy with that. He's got his podcast, and he's 35 years old. I'm not
You
saying
know,
he's washed. I'm not
I
saying
don't
he's
think
done,
she is
but
either. I mean, like Mahomes made a really good point because they talked about it, is that these teams make it impossible to throw to Kelsey because they put so much attention on him. So it's like, why are you worried about it so much, you know?
yeah,
But like, and they're like, yeah, do they need Travis Kelsey? Like Stephen A was talking about this on Get Up, and it was pissing me off.
of
They
course.
were like, yeah, they need him. He's washed, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I think he's doing a good job. They're 3-0 right now. They're taking all this attention away from these other receivers. Rashid
Yeah,
Rice has thrived. Like Xavier Worthy has thrived. So
yeah,
now you have these other players start making plays. It's going to open up eventually, and Kelsey is going to make the plays. And it
no.
hasn't come down to a position where they've needed Kelsey to make a play. But
Mm,
if they need a touchdown to win with 2 minutes left and they need to go to someone, they're on the goal line, that ball's going to Travis Kelsey,
Oh, still,
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah, it's just, I think it was just so tough because he's sitting there on the sideline. He's got the mustache, which is a good look, but he's also got like the 5 o'clock shadow coming in, and someone messed up his haircut. I don't care what anyone says. That haircut
I
stinks.
don't like that haircut either.
When he's off the field and styles it, it's fine. But when you see him running around, you're like, someone
Off
messed
that
up the
when he
fade.
takes the helmet off, yeah,
Yeah, because
it's dumb.
I was talking to Taylor about it, and she saw him walking in. And I was like, yes, he looks good there. He's a good-looking man, but when you see his hair, someone messed up the fade. It's cut. It's just not cut
It's cut
right.
weird. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cut
so
weird.
I,
It does look
so
good though when he styles it. You're right, but
and
like when it comes off of him and he's got helmet hair, not a
yeah,
fan.
so when he's sitting on the sideline huffing and puffing, and he's got the stubble coming in with the mustache and the bad hair, I think that's why everyone's giving him shit. He'll be fine
He'll
because
be fine.
the Chiefs, no one's beating the Chiefs. You can't. I still think they're the team to beat right now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean that brings us to a really great point. Before we go over our predictions, let's how about we go over our week 4 power rankings.
okay,
Let's start from 5 to 1. How does that sound?
sure, yeah. You go five to
Um,
one. You want to say all your five, and then
yeah,
I'll say mine.
I'll go first.
Okay,
So rankings for me for this week. At number 5, I got the Lions.
okay,
This was the hardest one probably to put because I feel like there's a lot of teams around this scenario that deserve
hmm
the power rank, like to be in the top 5 power rankings, but
hmm
kind of just missed it out for me. I think the Lions are a dangerous team.
hmm
At 4, I got the Steelers because, like I said, Justin Fields is running that offense pretty well, and like it just seems like every time I turn on the TV and I flip to the Steelers game, TJ
hmm
Watt is getting a sack or some
Yeah,
crazy play.
he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's insane. At 3, I have the Chiefs. I have them pretty low.
Hmm.
Um, and then at 2, I have the Bills because it seems like they've just been rolling over everyone that they play.
Yeah.
And then at number 1, I have a very crazy and outlandish one, but I got the Vikings
Wow.
at number
Okay.
1. I think Sam Darnold has really kind of transformed that offense, and it just
hmm
seems like they just put up too many points for anybody to really care about. They can't touch them. It's like
Yeah.
happening every week. So,
Yeah, that's a crazy one. I like those five. Honestly, I had a similar five, just in different orders for
yep.
right now. So I mean, my week after week three, so now week four power rankings, if you will. Five, I had the Vikings at five. Just I
Nice.
think they're
Okay.
playing well. At four, I had the Saints
That's a good one. It
because
was tough leaving them out for me.
yeah, because I know they're not undefeated, but their offense just every time they touch the ball right now with Derek Carr, they're either scoring a
Getting a
touchdown or
point.
a field
Yeah.
goal, and they have a pretty underrated defense. So,
Yeah, they
you know,
do.
guys that can keep them in games. Three, I was a little biased. I'm going to Jets. Just because, their offense looked really good and their defense hasn't really hit their stride yet. They're still 2-1, and they have a pretty easy schedule. So I get that. So I didn't put them as high. And then two, I have the Bills because I just think they're playing out of their minds right now. They don't have Diggs, they don't have Davis, and Josh Allen saying no problem. He's
No
throwing
problem.
to whoever's open, and that's making it easy for him. And he's still able to run the ball. He's got James Cook in the backfield as well. And then number one, I just have to put the Chiefs.
You got it, man.
It's still the team to beat, and especially when the refs are on your side. I sound like every social media troll, but I'm getting sick of it
Oh, it
because
is
it
crazy.
seems like every game a call is just going their way. I still haven't gotten over them playing the Jets last year, and no calls went,
The
against
Jets
them.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just still the team to beat because, coming off two Super Bowls, talented team, still have a lot of the same roster, a lot of guys taking the jump to the next step too. So I think that's my team to beat.
I think it's a really good team to beat, man. And to continue with our predictions, how about you give us your Super Bowl prediction and your MVP after 3 weeks.
Sounds good. Yeah. So for my Super Bowl prediction, these guys actually weren't in my power rankings, but just because they've had a slow start, I think the Lions are going to make it, and I think they're going to verse the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a
I
good
think it's
one.
going to be Lions Chiefs. Almost had it last year. Would have been very exciting to start and end the season with the same matchup. But I think this is the year that the Lions can put it all together. Same core, pretty much, as long as they stay
Yeah.
healthy. I mean, they just another year of these guys taking the next step. And the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. I mean,
Yeah, they
I don't
just play
know.
so well. They just find a way, man.
They find a way every time. And, I definitely sound, I don't know if it's jealous or butthurt if you, for lack of a
Yeah.
better term. But I mean, seeing that call against the Bengals, that pass interference called late in that game, could have gone either way. Obviously goes the Chiefs' way. And then the same play happens the next week where one of the Chiefs' defensive backs absolutely wraps up Kyle Pitts in the back of the end zone and gets
Doesn't get the
tackled
call.
before the ball, no call. Granted, I know there was 4 minutes left in that game. Chiefs probably go down and score and win the game anyway, but
Yeah.
call it both ways, guys. Back-to-back weeks, we call it one way for the Chiefs, the other way not for the Chiefs. Like, come on, please. It's getting annoying to
It's
watch the
getting
games.
annoying.
Like I
Yeah.
woke up for the sorry to go on the rant. I woke up the other day for the Chiefs and the Bengals game because I fell asleep during it. I woke up late in the game and Bengals were up by one late. I said I wasn't even paying attention. I said the Chiefs are going to win this game. Watching and
Ended up
tails like
winning
hey,
off of.
you never know what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
they threw the ball up. Flag doesn't come out right away, mind you. And then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, here comes the refs to save the day as always in a bang bang play. And I went, well, yep, there's the game. They can just run the clock out, kick your field goal, and the game. It's just not exciting anymore because you
No,
know it's coming.
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's
I
not
like
fun.
I like the Chiefs. They're a good team, but
Yeah,
I
I do
want
too. I mean, listen, I'm a Chiefs fan. I like the Chiefs, but
it just gets
yeah,
annoying. I want some
it
other
does
people
get
to win.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to go on that, but I had to
No,
get that
no,
in there
I
for our
love
football
that. I
segment.
love that energy. I love it.
I'm sick of it, man, because I'm just, yeah, I'm sick of it. Anyway, someone I did mention in the power rankings is Josh Allen, who I think is my MVP pick.
Yeah,
Because he's someone I know it's kind of a stupid answer because he's leading in like betting odds right now for MVP race because of his first three
yeah.
weeks. But I think he just continues on this path for the rest of the season. He
I
doesn't
think he's
have
due
digs.
too. I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
due.
due. He doesn't have digs, so he doesn't have that head case screaming in his ear to get him the ball. He doesn't have Gabe Davis either dropping 40 points or 0 points every game fantasy wise. And he just has guys. He mentioned this the other day. He said it wasn't a dig at anyone, but he said he's just throwing the guys that don't care about the stats. So
Get it? Not a dig. Huh.
I didn't even mean that. But yes, he said it wasn't a direct dig at Diggs or anyone else. But I mean, he's throwing to a lot of rookies or a lot of, I won't call them veterans yet, even though
Second year,
some have
third
been.
year
Yeah,
guys. Yeah.
exactly. They haven't been around for a long time yet. But, these guys are just open and he's throwing to like 6, 7, 8 different receivers a game, dumping it off to the running backs. And, he can still run the ball and, drop the shoulder and plow through people as well. So I think he just does it all. And I think that's my MVP pick.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good pick, man. And I'm gonna start off with my MVP pick because it's the same one. I have Josh
Nice.
Allen too. Before we didn't even talk about this going on, but I have the same one and I have the same reasoning. I think he's playing
Mm,
really well. Again, I think he just do, man. Mahomes got one, Lamar got one,
hmm
and like these three quarterbacks are going to be compared to each other, the rest of their lives, along with Joe Burrow. As long as they're in the league, these four quarterbacks are going to be
Hmm.
compared to each other. It's going to be like, the next Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger,
Hmm.
These are the next four core quarterbacks we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And I really think that Josh Allen, it's his time this year.
Hmm.
And that being said, I actually have the Bills winning in the AFC Championship over the Chiefs.
Ooh,
I think the
okay.
Bills finally come out on top.
Yeah.
Listen, as a fan, I would love to see the Chiefs make it in three-peat. How
Sure.
fucking cool would that be?
Oh,
All
very.
right.
Yeah.
As much as we're talking about it right now, how we hate it, but like I can tell my kids 20 years from
Oh,
now, I could be like,
dude, I
hey,
would love it. Yeah.
I saw the Chiefs three-peat. That was a fucking cool moment. Mahomes is the man. He's the GOAT.
Yes.
Right. But uh, in the same breath, seeing the Bills win would be such a cool moment. I think that, um, but yeah, it would be such a cool moment. They would finally be like, oh, he finally got over the hump of beating Mahomes.
Hmm.
And then I also think that they are going to be playing the Lions.
Nice.
But I think if they don't play the Lions, I think the Niners make a comeback because I feel
Mm.
like that team is built. If they can
Yeah.
get healthy and they can go on a run, I think it might be the Niners over the Lions again.
Mm.
But in a Lions Bills scenario, I think the Lions actually come out on top compared to the Bills.
They could.
So, I think that team is built a little bit better than the Bills are. Um,
Mhm.
but that would be my end all prediction there. And yeah, I'm excited to see more Josh Allen, excited to see more football and see where it goes, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for another great slate on Sunday.
Yeah.
Some good matchups coming down,
And look out for
for the
our
rest of the year.
picks, man. Look out for
Yes.
our picks.
Look out for our picks. We're gonna hit one of these weeks. I know it.
Dude, we get so close. Like we honestly have been so good at Thursdays. We might put a separate Thursday in because we've
Yeah,
been hitting every Thursday game
we should.
past
Maybe we
three
just put it
weeks.
on the same game parlay or something because
Yeah.
yeah, Thursday we've been good. We could hit again tonight, Cowboys Giants, but yeah, I don't know. So pay attention to those picks. Keep, watching all the videos on TikTok. Keep watching all the episodes. We appreciate it as always, and let us know how we're doing. Feel free to comment or DM us or tell us things you wanted to hear. What do you want to talk
Yeah.
about? Maybe guess you want to see, and we'll gladly comply. So
Yeah.
thanks
Buy
again,
some
as always.
merch.
Yeah,
Buy some cowboy hat merch that Tyler's wearing. The hat is so sexy.
it is. It is. It's
Thanks.
very nice. I do enjoy it. Yeah, and just keep supporting, representing, and enjoy the crisp weather that's coming up. I know I
Yeah.
haven't stopped thinking about that pumpkin cold foam, cold brew
Oh,
that
I
we
keep
got.
getting it, bro. I'm actually going to hang up with you right now and I'm going to get ready for work and go get one.
Dude, I haven't had one since I saw you last weekend and had one, and
So far.
I need to get one. Maybe I'll get one after this as well, even though I already had
That's what I like to
coffee.
hear.
What's more caffeine
That's what
gonna
I
do
like to
to you?
hear.
So enjoy the fall. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you soon with another episode.
Let's go Mets, baby. Let's
Let's
go
go
Mets.
Mets. Let's go
Let's
Mets.
go
Roll
Mets.
Tide.
Yes,
Peace
let's go
out.
Mets and Marvel's back.